Are you ready to enter worlds full of whimsical stories, thrilling adventures, and swoon-worthy romances? Yes? Well, then I have the most amazing book recommendations for you. Hi, friends. Welcome to my channel. My name is Ash. You may know me from Book Talk. My real name is Ashley, but I often go by Ashlyn Chambers, which is my author pen name on social media. So Ash is kind of a catch-all. But hi, welcome. I am so glad you guys are here. I have tried to start a YouTube since 2015, 2016, but I was very new to content creation then. I had no idea what I was doing. And because of that, I think I tried to make everything so perfect, just like the booktubers I looked up to. And I realized I thought I needed this fancy camera and this great lighting and all these books behind me and all this stuff. And because of that, I got into a little bit of analysis paralysis and got into this freeze state where I basically just gave up making content altogether until Book Talk. But now that Book Talk is going away, here we are. I'm giving this another try, so hopefully it sticks this time. So on my channel, in my cozy little corner of the internet, we will be discussing all things fantasy, sci-fi, romance. My romance does lean very fantasy heavy. I do dip into contemporary every now and again, and I do read some thrillers, but those are very few and far between. I tend to lean very fantasy heavy. Now I'm going to kick off this video with my last read of 2024, which was Watermoon by Samantha Soto Yambo, and it was a 5-star read for me. It was perfect. I was actually in the middle of reading The Way of Kings, and I was almost towards the end. And I honestly just felt like it was too heavy for the end of the year. I've had too many things going on in my life, and I just needed something a little more light and fluffy. And as I was actually decorating my bathroom, I decided to paint my bathroom this really intricate design instead of buying a wallpaper because paint is cheaper than wallpaper. But what that ended up doing is I had a lot of free time in my hands. So I ended up listening to the Watermoon audiobook. Actually, shout out to Penguin Random House influencers for letting me into their audio program. It was a blessing in disguise. I like crushed audiobooks because I had to paint this bathroom for like over a week, and I was on deadline because I had in-laws coming to town for Christmas. So I was just flying through them, and Watermoon was one of those standouts for me. So Watermoon follows a girl named Hana, and she's about to inherit her family's pawn shop. A person could be walking along lost in thought, thinking about their life path, and all of a sudden they believe they're entering a ramen shop, and it transports them to another dimension into her family's pawn shop. And there, the person that enters is given a choice. They're either able to stay on their current life path or they can trade one of their biggest regrets. So the story of Hana begins when she's about to become the new pawn shop's owner. And that morning, she finds the entire shop has been ransacked, their biggest prized possession has been stolen, and that her father is missing. Just then, a stranger walks through the door. And the stranger offers to help her find her father and the missing items. So they ended up going on this magical journey together, and it's very reminiscent of The Boy and the Heron or Spirited Away. It's so fantastical. And I would even say it's a sprinkle of Dante's Inferno if Dante's Inferno was more cozy and whimsical. And I only say that because while reading it, I felt like I was going down into the center of her world, almost like an elevator to the core of her earth, trying to figure out this mystery. And there's so many levels to this. I don't want to say too much more without giving the whole thing away, but there's a good twist, there's a good romance, and it's amazing. Kudos to Samantha. Congratulations on creating such a unique story. So here are some other Studio Ghibli-esque inspired books. If you want to read Watermoon, definitely add it to your list if this has intrigued you. But if not, then here's some other stories that are in that similar vein. And hey, we have a special guest who's coming in right now. Hey, Walter. Oh, don't worry, I'll wait. Yeah, I'll wait.
A few moments later.
First up, we have The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Mangu Sandana. Apologies if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, but that's how I've always pronounced it. And this is the first in the series. The second book comes out this year. And this is about a solitary witch named Micah who is enlisted to teach these 3 witches about magic and how to harness their powers. And at first, it's kind of seeming like she's not sure they're actually magical, but she realizes that they are. And she is getting involved in this family, figuring out everyone's backstories and just getting closer to them as a close knit family. And while doing that, because she's always been a solitary witch, she is learning to open up to people. She's exploring the trauma of her own past, what led her to be solitary in the first place. She's learning to love, and it's just a very beautiful, cute story. I would be remiss if I didn't include this classic into this list. Of course, I'm going to mention Howl's Moving Castle. This story follows a girl named Sophie who gets cursed by a witch, turns into an old lady, goes to find the sorcerer Howl, and everything ensues. There's found family, there's love, there's adventure. The end. Also, the other two books in the series, House of Many Ways and Castle in the Air, are also great. It is part of a trilogy. They are not all the same. I mean, they don't follow the same characters in every book, but they're just as beautifully written and fantastical. So definitely check it out. Next up, we have Legends and Lattes by beloved book talk author Travis Baldree. This is about an orc named Viv, who is a retired adventurer, and she is now opening up a coffee shop. And it's all about her finding her way in the world now that she's not a fighter anymore, and meeting friends and finding love. It's so cute and cozy. Definitely feels like a warm hug. And I would also suggest the second book in the series, Bookshops and Bonedust, was all about Viv opening up a bookshop. And then also an old friend of hers from her fighting life comes back and asks for her help, and adventure ensues. And I actually think the second book is way better than the first. So definitely pick up this one if you haven't already. So the next book on my list is A Teller of Small Fortunes by Julie Leong. This is another Penguin Random House audio I was able to receive due to their influencer program. So thank you so much for that. And this is a cute story, by the way. It's about a girl named Tao who is a lonely fortune teller who tells small fortunes with her power instead of doing larger predictions to avoid any dangers the larger predictions may bring. And it's just her and her trusty mule. And then one day, her whole life is upended when she runs into an ex mercenary, a thief, a spirited baker, a magical cat, and they recruit her to help her find the daughter of the one of the characters because she's been missing. And during this, there's found family. She bonds with this group. She confronts her shadowed past and the dangers of that. And she's trying to figure out if she's willing to risk everything for these new people in her life, if they're important enough, or if she should continue being solitary. And I think it's so cute, so adorable. And I love a found family trope. I mean, if that's in a book, guaranteed I'm gonna give it a 5 stars, which I did. So pick it up. Next up, we have Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. This is the first in a trilogy, and it's a cute fantasy Regency romance, which I did not realize that when I picked it up, but I was pleasantly surprised at how well done it was. And this is all about a girl named Eleanor who loses half her soul in a magical incident when she is younger. And because of that, she is devoid of all human emotion and doesn't really connect with the world around her. She's just kind of a shell of a human. Then she meets a mysterious lord who they are attracted to each other and eventually fall for each other. And it's all about how can he be in a relationship with her when she has a fracturing soul. And I don't want to give too much away, but it has magic, it has fairies, it has a little bit of danger. It's perfect for that whimsical feeling. Next up, we have The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. And every time I hear her name, I just think, oh, she's related to Fred Durst.
All right, partner. Keep on rolling, baby.
That's just the way my brain works. I'm making that connection for some reason. I don't know. Anyways, I digress. This is considered a romantasy, and it's all about a girl named Keela who works in a magical library with her magical sentient spider plant. And one day they are forced to flee because there is a brewing revolution. So she goes back to her childhood home where she opens up a spell shop, and she is doing magic potions and sharing her magic and her creations with commoners, which is kind of dangerous. But it's all about her confronting her path, building this new life, and trying to right the wrongs she feels like she's made throughout her life. And if you love magic, if you love romance, if you love just witchy things in general, definitely add this to your TBR. Next up, we have Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. This is a thick boy because our boy Brandon loves a thick book, but it is well worth it. And it's completely told in a way that is not his normal style, which I enjoyed. It was like a third person was telling us about this story and we are watching the events unfold, which took a while to get used to, but I ended up loving it in the end. But it's all about a girl named Tress who is living on a secluded island, who life changes when a pirate ship comes and takes away like the love of her life. So then Tress embarks on this magical journey, traveling across the seas, braving, pirates and all kinds of dangers. And it definitely gives you that whimsical, magical feeling. And the romance in it is really cute. Next up, we have Kiki's Delivery Service by Aiko Kandano, and I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing the first name. But of course, if you love Ghibli films, this should be on your list. It's a story of a young witch who is coming into her own, and she goes off and finds a town where she can share her magical abilities with and do her training so that way she can become a full-fledged witch. And it's all about the misadventures that are happening in this town and finding friends and just whimsical adventures in general. Again, another cute witchy book, very middle grade, but I highly suggest reading it with your kids if you have any, or just reading it if you want something lighthearted and fun that's not going to make your heart feel like it's going to rip out of its chest, I mean, those stories are good 90% of the time, but not always. Sometimes you just want to be happy. So, yeah. Now, some of you may come for me for this. I bought this so long ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, and I have not read it yet, but I'm going to add it to the list because I know what it's about. I just haven't read it yet. I'm going to, okay? This is Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Su Lin Tan, and it follows Xin, a young woman exiled from her celestial home after her mother's forbidden magic is discovered. And she is determined to save her mom, and she embarks on this perilous journey where she's discovering about the secrets of her past and her identity and what it means to defy fate. If this doesn't scream Ghibli magical whimsy, I don't know what does. And I loved it and added to my TBR for the purpose of I heard there's adventure, there's heart, and I love stories that explore the self and discovering out who you are. So add it to your TBR and tell me if it's good or not. I will get to it. I promise. I promise. And this next one I have not read, but I've heard such amazing things about it that, of course, I got to add it to my TBR and I hope to get to it this year. But it's called The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axio. This is a famous retelling of a Korean folktale, the tale of Shimshion. And it's about a girl whose homeland is cursed with these deadly storms. And one day she throws herself into one of these storms to save her brother, and she is swept away into the spirit world, and there all these magical adventures ensue. There's all these magical creatures and gods, and she embarks on this journey through this world in order to find and wake up the god of the sea, and she's trying to figure out why her land is cursed and what she can do to make it stop. And also, it's a race against time. So, this is truly like cozy but action packed and whimsical, very much like Watermoon. So, if you like the vibes of that I described earlier, you're going to love this one. I want to give an honorable mention to The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This is a romantasy that is an oldie but goodie. I probably should have added to the list because it definitely has those whimsical, magical, romantic elements that I'm talking about in this video. But I wanted to keep the list a little more current. But if you're looking for something in that similar vein, definitely pick this up. It's always a good one. So that is a wrap on my very first booktube video. Yay! If you would like to see more videos like this, let me know. I would happily do a part 2. I am definitely seeking out more stories like this in the future. I need something to help break up these heavy sci-fi fantasy stories and these long series. I just need something whimsy in between. So I would happily do a part 2. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I can't believe I'm saying that because that feels like some kind of weird out of body experience. It's something you see other people do, but you really don't expect those words to come out of your mouth. But make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so you don't miss any notifications or videos from me. I will be posting once a week, every Wednesday at noon. And if I love to give book recommendation videos, so if you want more stuff like this, I will happily give it to you. I am your girl. And I'm also Ash P Books on Instagram, Blue Sky, and TikTok, and here, of course. So make sure you follow me on all platforms. I'm hoping that TikTok doesn't go away, but we shall see because I'm kind of in denial. I'm going to keep posting and acting like the app isn't going away, but yeah, I'm mostly on those. I'm trying to refrain from Instagram, but I feel like it's sucking me in because I have no other choice to connect with my community other than being on that platform. But, anyways, I'm glad you guys are here. Thank you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.